Hello, welcome to the first movie review of the month, where essentially for a lot of this month for movie reviews, I'm wrapping up movie series that I have been reviewing, since last year, starting with Rocky Balboa. Yes, I'm finally here. I'm finally at the sixth and final Rocky movie, which means now I get to move on to the three Creed films after this, which I'm really looking forward to because I have grown to love this franchise. As first time watches, uh, where I knew some stuff about the first four Rocky movies, except for Rocky 5 and now Rocky Balboa, I've essentially gone into those two movies completely blind, not knowing exactly what was going on, and I have loved every moment of it. This has become one of my favorite franchises, and Sylvester Stallone has become one of my favorite actors as well, due to this fact. And yeah, it's a little bittersweet that I'm, essentially at the end of the Rocky franchise. There's no new Rocky movies, but I'm happy to be able to experience the Creed movies as well now for the first time, because I know two things about the Creed franchise that has been unfortunately spoiled for me. That's the thing when you don't watch movies when they come out, unfortunately, and I'm not too upset about that. So, quick before I get into it, if I look extra shiny, it's because I have a skin condition called psoriasis. I've just used my spray to get rid of it because I hadn't used it in about a week. So that's why I look extra shiny. But yeah, so how does Rocky fare entering into the 21st century? 2006, nearly 20 years ago, but 30 years from the original by the time this film came out. And honestly, when I was watching it for the first half hour, I wasn't sure if I was going to like it. But as things progressed, I began to actually understand it and understand the message that Sylvester Stallone was trying to send with this movie. And I'm not going to say that's my favorite because that still goes to Rocky 1, followed by Rocky 3, being my two favorites of the franchise. But I'll rank them all at the end if I remember. But yeah, so this movie takes place several long years actually, after the end of Rocky 5. And a lot has happened. One thing that caught me off guard is the fact that Adrian has sadly passed away. The character, I'm pretty sure the actress is still alive. But yeah, the character of Adrian sadly passed away in between Rocky 5 and Balboa. And, we follow Rocky in the first half of the movie where he's going down memory lane. He's trying to live within the past. He goes to visit a bunch of places that he did with Adrian. He visited their first place, the first apartment, where he brought Adrian ice skating for the very first time, in the first movie, and all of this stuff. And then he eventually goes to visit his son, Rocky Jr., who is working in this big corporation, and he's getting lambasted for being late. Rocky goes up to him, tries to talk to him because Rocky Jr. just hasn't really been having that much of a relationship. Something must have went down in between Rocky 5 and now, because I thought at the end of that film, they start to patch up that relationship. But things happen. So whilst all this is going down, the new heavyweight champion, Dixon, he's gone 33-0, hasn't lost a match. He's the new heavyweight champion. And during one of the sports talk thingamajig, I'm not a sports guy. I have a vague interest in boxing, and I have a vague interest in the GAA, which is an Irish sport. And that's about it. I love esports. Well, certain esports. But anyway, yeah. So it turns out they done this projection, like not projection, but what would happen if Rocky in his prime fought Dixon now, and in that it had Rocky winning, and so that kind of sparked back an interest, or maybe after Rocky sees this, maybe he should get back into this, because like I said, a lot has happened since then. Rocky now has this restaurant called Adrian's, and when he goes to visit one of the old pubs that he used to frequent, he runs into Marie, who Rocky tried to convince her to stop smoking, walked her home once and got called creepy for it. And obviously they lost touch after that. And so then, Rocky's, becoming more friendly with her, trying to, look out for her because, Rocky, he has a good heart, he likes to look after people. And so he gets introduced to her son, who has the nickname of Steps, offers him a job, working in the restaurant, eventually offers her a job to work in the restaurant. And so he goes to try and get, appeal to go back to boxing. And initially he's denied, but then, he snaps at it. Polly also gets annoyed with him, for living in the past constantly. And but then Polly gets made redundant from working in the meat factory that he's been working at since the very first film. And so then, Rocky, he finally gets the green light, and so he decides that he gets talking with the promoters for Dixon. They start to throw for an exhibition match, and when Rocky Jr. sees this, he's none the too happy about it, and so he goes and he has a confrontation with Rocky, and it's beautiful. I love the speech that Rocky gives, because it's honestly words you could probably live by. It's not how hard you hit, it's how hard you can get hit and still get back up afterwards. And no truer words have ever been spoken. And I really that resonated with me. you know um and eventually they have the fight. Rocky lasts a whole 10 rounds. They get good uh, hits in to each of them, and then it's ruled that Dixon wins by split decision. Two judges have it that Dixon won, and only one judge had that Rocky won. But Rocky doesn't care. He done what he came to do. He got that itch out of his system. That's mainly why he went back to fighting, was because that itch. He had that itch to fight, to see if he still had it. And yeah, he still had it. He went the 10 rounds. He didn't win, but that doesn't matter. So it kind of feels like, as well, retreading waters of the first Rocky film, when Rocky went up against Creed, with the whole exhibition fight in both films, and Creed being announced the winner, even though it was, I think both, it was tied in the first film, in my opinion. And in this case, Dixon won, which I'm not against. He wasn't as bad as some of the other fighters that Rocky faced. Clubber Lang, the Russian from number 4, and Tommy from number 5. So yeah, honestly, I love this franchise, and I'm so happy that I finally got around to watching all of the films. Like I said, I still have the Creed films to go. So how would I rank the Rocky films now? Um, it's going to be a little controversial. I'm not going to lie. I think it would be. Because, like I said, my two favorite Rocky films have been always Rocky 1 and Rocky 3. Those have been my two favorites. So that's my number 1 and my number 2. My number 3 pick is actually going to go to Rocky 5, which is surprisingly enough big. Which, because I heard after I watched it for the first time, that I heard afterwards that not a lot of people like that film. I love it. I thought it was great. Going, scaling back, going to the slice of life route. Having Rocky be the coach that I wanted him to be. After number 4. He doesn't need to fight. He should be a coach. He would be a great coach. I think that's the route that gets taken in the first 2 Creed films. That he becomes the coach for Apollo Creed's son, having not watched the films yet. So that's number 3. My number 4 pick is going to go to Rocky 2. My number 5 is going to go to Rocky Balboa. And then my number 6 is going to be Rocky 4. And that's not to say that none of them are bad. One's bad or worse than the other. They're all fantastic films. I have loved every single last one of them. That's just my current ranking right now. Maybe if I rewatch one of them later on down the line, some might shift around. But honestly, I'm happy that I've gone through this franchise because I've loved every moment of it. Because I wanted to space it out, you know. I didn't want to just immediately jump in and review all 6 of them. And I'm glad that I did that because that means that, you know, got to enjoy them that bit more when I was like, okay, it's been a couple of months since I did the last Rocky review. Let me pencil in for the to do the next Rocky film that I have to watch, and you know actually sit down and watch it and enjoy it. And yeah, I love this franchise, like I've been saying. So that is actually going to wrap this review up. Thank you all for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Let me know what you thought of Rocky Balboa in the comments down below, and let me know what you thought of the Rocky franchise like in general. And like I said, with this being done, I now have the Creed films to tackle. I'll probably tackle the first one before the end of the year, but because I have the first 2 anyway on Blu-ray. So yeah, very happy to have watched this film. Very happy to have watched the franchise in general. Looking forward to giving Creed a shot in the future. And yeah, that is that. So what's next? There's going to be a bit of a what if theory. It's been a while since I've done posted a what if, you know. So yeah, that's going to be out on Friday. So thank you all for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and I shall see you all on Friday for another brand new upload. I'll see you all next time.